Welcome to a Dee and A Don.
I'm Pat. I'm the D.
I'm Dave. I'm the Don. It's that time of year. Everyone's releasing their All Australian team, so we thought I'm going to release one, and then you can sit back and argue about it with me,
Look forward
and
to
you at
it.
home can put messages and insult me because it's how I usually feel when someone does an All Australian team. Really tough. First of all, we've got to say last year's key backs, Harris Andrews and Sam Taylor, won't be there because of
No.
injury. Key forwards is also tricky. You had Gunston and Cameron last year. Jeremy Cameron, are they still at that level?
Well, Cameron's obviously he's kicked the most goals so far, right? So and he's had a lot of influence over a lot of matches. Uh, I just I don't think he is the most influential forward for me at the moment. I think Tracy at the moment is the most influential forward.
You think a miss is not that far behind him?
Absolutely.
Tricky. All right. Well, let's not start with the tricky. Let's
Yeah.
start with the ones that I think absolutely have to be there. Right.
Agreed.
I think Nick Watson in the forward line is clearly the best small forward. I'm going to pick him.
Yeah.
I think Blakey's clearly the best halfback. I'm going to pick him. And the midfielders, the only ones for sure that I'm picking are Dawson in the middle, Heaney on a half forward flank, and Nick Dacos in the middle.
Yeah. To be honest, I cannot argue with any of those. Watson is taking his game to a new heights. He is so quick off the mark. He's kicking a lot of goals.
Great to watch.
He's great to watch. He's electric. He seems to actually kick a lot from the boundary line as well. A lot of those goals from the boundary line.
Games a lot, but when he's in, it's like he just kicked 3 goals in a tie.
And it's the speed he has as well. It's off the charts.
All right, you want to hear the team?
Yes, please, Dave.
All right, Ruck. I've got Jackson. I think he's ahead of Grundy and Gawn. We were chatting before, and you seem to think that you need a second ruckman on the interchange.
We
I'm just
do.
saying, just hold on. There's quite a few interchange spots that people deserve.
So let's look at that selection, right? It is a real tough selection between the three. Gawn, Grundy, and Jackson.
Well, I didn't mention it before, but Jackson's one of my have-to-haves.
Yeah.
I don't think you can have an All-Australian team without him at ruck,
Yeah.
but I didn't mean to completely pour water over. The question is, are the other two good enough to get a spot? Not just because a ruckman gets 2 spots, but
Yeah.
better than, Bailey Smith or Zach Bailey.
So yeah, I for me, Jackson gets it ahead of Gawn, and I think Gawn needs to be interchanged. And these are the reasons: is Jackson averages 20 disposals. He's been very effective, but he's also kicked a lot of goals as well. He's actually kicked 15 goals, Dave. So, but the thing that stands out for me with Jackson is that he actually averages 5 tackles compared to Gawn, 2 tackles.
Yeah. Look, there's a reason they call him the unicorn. You can
He's
actually
hybrid.
play him as a key forward,
Yeah.
around the ground. He's very influential.
Yes.
And it's got to the point now where Geelong were running blitzavs with him, and I think you've sort of got to have someone who can almost play as a key defender if they're
Agreed.
going to run with him around the ground. And a lot of those guys, he runs like a midfielder.
He does. And now with Coxie also, I mean, okay, he only gets 3 possessions probably on average a match.
Just to be clear, we're not talking about Mason Cox for the All-Australian.
Absolutely clear with that. But what he does, the best thing he does is he gives him a hydration break.
That's all you're doing. If you're in the ruck
Yeah.
at Fremantle, your job is to make sure that Jackson can play as much at the pointy end of the season as possible.
Pointy end of the match at the end, right? Last quarter. You saw the difference when he actually went off and came back on in that last quarter. He was a machine. So
Yeah, I got a mate who bets on best finals player for the year, and it's always a little tricky because the teams that play the extra game, you're actually a better chance. But I wonder what Jackson's odds would be because if he is one of the best players in the finals,
yes.
I think Freo are a pretty good chance
Oh
this
yeah,
year. Yeah.
absolutely. If he's firing now, Gawn, he averages 21 disposals, and his I guess Superman is his ability with his clearances. He actually has over 6 clearances a match,
I knew I
right?
shouldn't have given you a chance to talk about Gordon.
Oh look, we lost against Adelaide. He had 28 possessions, right? I mean, he may not be as hybrid as when it comes to Luke Jackson, but boy, he is really, really effective. So that's why I think that's why he needs to be on the interchange for me.
Oh, I'm just going to go the whole team and then you can argue with me.
Now,
All right. So, Ruck, Jackson, midfield, Bont, Dacos, and Dawson. I think Dawson's the best player in the comp. Bont and Dacos. I
yeah,
mean, Bailey Smith could win the Brownlow this year, so
mm.
I've got him on a wing. Same as last year, they had him on a wing. So the wings are Smith and Butters. So yeah, I've
Hmm.
totally cheated. I looked for who the actual wingman, and I came up with your guy, Harvey Langford,
Mm.
and
He's had a great year.
Ollie Dempsey. I don't think Dempsey's been as good as Langford,
Mm.
but if you ask me, you're playing a game this weekend. Would you rather have on the wing? Do we put a Bailey Smith or a Butters in instead of Langford? Those guys are still better players for me, and you can
Mm.
move them in the midfield. But Langford's marking, and he's
Mm.
kicked 18 goals, which pretty
Yeah,
good for a winger.
absolutely.
Um,
And he's only young, right? This is
yeah,
his first year. Is this
of
first year
playing. No,
in Melbourne or second
no,
year?
no, third year.
Third year.
Yeah,
Right. Okay.
yeah. He was the same draft as Caddy. No, he was the one after Caddy. He was Kako.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Um. So hang on. So I got that's the midfield forward line. Watson, Tracy, Charlie Cameron, Murphy Reed, Jeremy Cameron, and Heaney. Back line: Blakey, Aaliyah, Sinclair, Ash, O'Sullivan, and Clark. So brand new fullback is O'Sullivan. I think
Mm,
he's I think he's the best key back in it now.
geez.
It's a huge call. I don't think anyone else is saying it. And Aaliyah, like I was surprised when I sat down because normally I'm a Harris Andrews, Sam Taylor.
Mm,
Taylor's been injured, and Andrews, when
mm.
I've seen him, hasn't quite been as good. I mean, they're definitely missing out on Zorko, but anyway, that's tough decisions. But that's the way I've gone. Left out a lot of guys will have Battle. I think Barras has been injured too long.
You're missing one.
Wilkie,
No, Wilkie's had a great year, but for me, Alex Pearce,
yeah,
he is really
ahead of Aaliyah.
yes for me.
I could live with that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I could live
yeah.
with that. Uh,
He's the captain as well, and he's a general, and he is having an unbelievable season.
well,
It's only getting better for him.
that's when you realise that Fremantle are the new Brisbane.
Yeah.
When you start to realise all the players. And like, it was really tough to work out between Murphy Reed and Bolton and Charlie Cameron
Yeah,
because Charlie Cameron's kicked 30 goals,
yeah,
Murphy Reed's kicked 10, and Shy Bolton's kicked 13. So I get that they're a little more midfield and link, but I think you've also got to take into account the supply and how it's getting down there and all that. Like, I don't want to put a black mark against them for playing in a good team. But if Charlie's kicking 30 for Brisbane and you're kicking 13 or 10 for Freo, then I've got to say, well, hang on. You're definitely doing it off fewer opportunity, which is weird to say because the last 2 years we would have gone, oh, you're getting fed by, oh, yeah, that's the other one, Bailey.
yeah. Zach, can't forget Zach.
Does he get a spot ahead of Murphy Reid or
Yeah.
Charlie Cameron? I know you're not a Charlie fan.
I'm not saying I'm not a fan. I just don't see him being as explosive and consistent as
30
he.
times he's revved
Uh, I haven't.
the motorbike.
I haven't heard the music as much as I have either. So
Been watching Brisbane games though.
it's a sweet
The
home.
less- No,
Country
why do you
road.
always get that
Country
wrong?
road.
Yeah, no, take me home.
Take me.
Come on. Um, yeah, I don't think you're watching Brisbane games because I've heard that song a lot. Is that it? Have I done the backs? Yep, I've done them all. So for me, Ash and Clark get a spot. nearly every year now. Blakey, Sinclair, every time I see them, he's just amazing. Wilkie, I've just seen get beaten a few
Yeah,
times in recent weeks.
agreed.
He's still leading marks, leading intercept marks, and all that. So I would definitely accept if you wanted to have him over. What's the other one? Alir and O'Sullivan. No, O'Sullivan I'm sticking with. And you've got
And what?
Pearce in there.
Oh, Tarzan. He does look like Tarzan.
Which
I'll
one?
tell you he play out.
Pearce.
Spears.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
Definitely going. The wild man.
The wild man.
Fair enough.
Absolutely. But yeah, I mean,
Every time I see Alir, he's just dominating.
Yeah.
Like you got me onto it. I had him in the mid range. I'd like to take that back. Apologies.
Alex Pearce, he last match 11 marks, all right,
Yeah.
against Cameron and a few of the other forwards as well, if you don't mind. So he was unbelievable, and I reckon he pretty much was one of the real reasons they actually won that game.
All right, here come the apologies for the bench
Ooh, there's
because all
always
of these
apologies.
guys could like walk
Yes.
straight in. So Gunston, everyone's going to be going, what? Gunston got to 35 goals really fast, but I haven't seen him play in a month,
Yeah.
and I'm starting to get a little worried about these. Well, he's not right for this week. We think he's
Footy
close for
injury.
next week, but probably not
Doesn't
next
like to
week.
travel.
And we don't really know when he's going to be back. Okay.
Yeah.
Because on form, when he was playing earlier this year, I definitely would have had him. I still
Every
squeezed
time,
him in.
even when he comes on, admittedly, he's actually been, a number of weeks. Even when he comes in,
I know.
he have a huge direct impact.
I know. I might be doing futures betting here. Like I'm just not sure how many goals he'll have by then. If you'd have
Yeah.
asked me halfway, a month ago, if he was going to beat his tally of 73 or 74 goals last year, I would have said, oh yeah, for sure. But now that he hasn't been playing and I don't know when he's going to be playing, I'm not so sure.
Yeah.
And mind you, his 74 only got him in a forward pocket or something last year. The camera did kick 80,
Yeah.
90 in it with 90 something.
Mm.
And we've got him in again, and he still looks great, but he kind of looks a little more injured and not quite what he was last year. But yeah, I mean, you're nitpicking a champion. So the rest on the bench, Cozzy, at times I would have thought
Yeah.
he was a Monty,
Yeah.
possibly even contending for the midfield, or I think last year he was on a forward flank. Naz, maybe, and Newcomb. I've now got Newcomb on the bench.
Wow. And where's Gorn on that bench?
No.
Oh, shit.
Here's
You're
my
a
question.
hard pass, man.
You've got going in ahead of Gunston, Cozzy, Naz, or Newcomb?
I've got him ahead of Newcomb. I've got him ahead of Naz, to be honest. He is so, so important to the Demons. I mean, yeah, okay. I am, massive Demons,
It's not like he's dropped off.
but he's definitely not dropped off. He is like the number one guy. Now, Cozzy, I've just got a few things, right? Cozzy has had an unbelievable year, right? And he plays on instinct. But some of the things he does in these games,
King's birthday.
King's birthday, like why he actually played on.
Now, he kicked it.
I know
There's
we
what?
talked about
20 seconds left, or 30, no, about less than a minute?
No, it was about 30 odd seconds left.
30 seconds.
Yeah.
And if he goes back and milks
Misses.
it,
Game
then
over.
you win.
Game over.
But
right?
he kicks it, and if he kicked a point,
They have a chance.
Collingwood have a chance to go
Exactly.
down and win. And you're thinking, and didn't he
Yes.
have like a snap around the
He
corner
did.
like 20 seconds
He
before that didn't make the distance?
Absolutely. Now, really, I think what happened with that snap, all the Melbourne players sort of said, slow down and just, take your time. But, there's a difference between, slowing down, taking your time, and 30 seconds to go when you're going to win the game. Now, I know.
You are a bit spoiled. You're used to the Max Gorn. All right, boys, get on my back. Relax. It's gonna be-
Exactly. I'm
I'll
milking
take that
guy.
mark. I'll do the
Absolutely.
thing that slows everything down, wins us the
Exactly.
game, makes it impossible for them to win. Whereas Cozzy,
Yeah.
play on impulse is okay.
Play on
on instinct
impulse.
is okay,
Yeah.
but there's a time and place.
Yeah,
He
absolutely.
must have been happy when he kicked it.
I was, but in the same sense, I was relieved. But everyone, interestingly, I was watching that match, and even another Demons fan said, like, he just couldn't believe what actually happened.
Yeah.
So
And
anyway,
yesterday versus Adelaide
yeah.
probably played his worst
Yeah.
match.
Well, he didn't play well. Okay, I'll be honest, but just that free, for example, which was critical. You could see Taylor Walker gave the ball to
The
him.
50.
Yeah. Well, he gave the ball to him because it was always Walker's, free. But Taylor Walker gave it to him, and then he did not. He actually was sort of going, oh, did not give it back. And that was a game that Walker played against Cozzy.
Let's see if this guy's so stupid that if I give him
Exactly.
the ball back, give him the ball, he
Doesn't know what to do. So
So it's not football skills that you're
yeah,
questioning. It's
and the other
champion
thing,
leadership.
yeah, look, he's got incredible ability to hit passes, but he still has got this tendency to run out on a centre clearance and then just bomb the ball. And it's difficult for any forwards to actually, be able to take the marks when it's just bombed very quickly because the forwards don't get set up.
So, top three in your best and fairest: Gawn, Cozzy,
Yeah.
and Langford.
Langford, yes. Yeah.
So, apologies to Lever, Turner.
Yeah, still.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to talk Melbourne. I feel like
Yeah.
we're done with
Yeah,
All
yeah.
Australian. I talk to people and they still don't rate you. And I heard someone say the other day on Friday night, you'd still rather have Petrarca and Oliver and May than not. I disagree. I think you're a better
Yeah,
team now.
absolutely.
I think Steele has replaced Viney. The three who I worry about, Melksham is a shadow of what he was last year when he kicked 40 goals. I haven't seen Viney all year.
Well, Viney's injured, so he'll be out pretty much. I think
I
he'll be
know,
out
but
for
when
the
you're
season.
what, 32 and you're injured for the whole season
Yeah,
and you've been
it
replaced
hurts.
by Jack Steele, essentially, he's a younger, better version of Viney. And the other one I'm worried about, Salem, just because I haven't seen him for
Right.
ages.
Massive
And all
issues
those
with
guys,
injury.
Howes,
Yeah, yeah,
couldn't wish better for those guys.
yeah,
But
yeah,
I actually think you're in a position to, like Lever and Turner have been great.
yeah, yeah.
You still worry me with your average
Tom McDonald.
call for key position players.
Right.
You just seem to have this sausage factory of just producing production outlet where I notice you've got some new ones now. So it's always been Petty and McDonald, and then they get dropped, and you go, I thought he was starting to look good. No, mate, they're average.
Yeah.
And now you've got Kentwick, Cook.
Yeah.
Am I missing one?
Jefferson.
Oh yeah, Jefferson.
And
Hey,
Henderson. But look, let's just on that, right?
Sure.
I the biggest issue that Melbourne has, and look, Melbourne done a lot right this year, right? So what I've really enjoyed about Melbourne is that their contested possession has been, fantastic. They've recruited well, but again, it's the old adage of not actually lowering your eyes and actually going into the forward 50 with a plan. And the reason being is the forwards are not actually, doing what they should be doing and creating leading lanes, right? So you've got, and that's why missing Mychek for the year is a real problem because he was actually leading towards the player.
because he came from a forward line system that knows how to work.
Yeah. But, my concern is there's too much bombing up in the air.
Well, yeah,
and
without
too
Mychek
many-
leading forward,
Yeah.
and with Fritsch playing like on the wing,
And the backs going up and
all you've got is
they go-
bomb it to Van Rooyen.
Yeah. But it's not just bombing it to Van Rooyen. It's actually the other players, the other forwards are coming in at the same time. So therefore the backs are all coming. It's just so congested.
The time to ask who your forwards coach is.
Yeah, well, look, we weren't doing it at the start of it. That's why they were talking about
I think that
free
was Mychek,
flowing.
wasn't it?
It wasn't just that. We were making smarter decisions. We were actually holding onto the ball and we're hitting these 20-metre passes, which I've been dying for it to see. But now
Not
we're
so much.
not so much. You got Rivers, you got Pickett. And Adelaide was a typical example of what happened.
So it's good that you bring that up because I I think there's 4 teams that can win it, right? I think everybody thinks that Freo is going to get there unless they do something Freo. Old Freo pops up somewhere. Yeah, they
Like
lose the
Adelaide?
prelim again. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like Adelaide did last year. I think Freo looked better than Adelaide did last year, but they're in roughly the same position, right? Whereas I'm now putting so the 4 are Freo. Everybody seems to go, yeah, Sydney are 2 games ahead of everyone, but we're not sure whether does Goulden come back and they're brilliant and they end up in the grand final and then see if they can get rid of their mental problems with grand finals. I've got to have them in the 4, and the other 2 are Geelong and Hawthorn. Right, the Will Day factor is, oh God, they look so much better with him. He's so classy,
isn't he?
And it's just a matter of, are you still playing at the end of September? Because if you are, I like Hawthorn's chances, and all of those guys that they held on to instead of trading for merit, McDonald, Ward,
McKenzie.
McKenzie. Like they are getting better every week, and Massimo and all of those guys, they're good. I mean, I have a little problem with Hodge, who was putting his pitch for Butters, because I think we'll find out whether Hawthorn are cheapskates, or we are really here to play. Because if you were really here to play, do you know who you want in your midfield? Zach Butters. And you do everything you can to get him. Now, if you want to go cheaper, Merritt, right? And I don't think Bailey's what you need. I think it's Merritt, who would be a beautiful icing on the top. He doesn't look good in a struggling team, but he looks bloody good in a good team. And I think he would be just delivering it down to Gunston and those guys if they're there, and it makes a difference. But if you really want to win next year, you get Butters, and you do everything you can. And Hodge's pitch was, well, forget about the $2 million because we can't afford that, but why don't you come and play with, a team that's, if you want to win a premiership. My problem with that is you actually haven't won a premiership. Stop talking like you're going to win a premiership and do another move. Like last year they did nothing, right? So is that because you're developing these young guys, or are you just a cheapskate? Because you could have had Merritt for a decent offer, and I think this year you could have Butters, but it would empty the bank, right? But if you put Butters in that midfield, with or without Day, to me they're...
Do you think Butters, though, plays a lot like Newcomb?
You say that about everyone because Newcomb can do everything, right? Butters has a level of class. Look, I don't want to slag Newcomb. I just had him in my All-Australian team, and he's a beautiful kick. But Butters doesn't kick goals. I think Butters is slightly better than Newcomb. But if you had 2 of them and the option of Day, now that's a midfield where you can go, bring it on, Brisbane. Bring it on, Freo. Bring it on, anyone, right? Geelong, Hawthorn, Geelong, sorry. We can take you. But without them, I think it's going to be the same every year, right? Look really good in the first 2 finals and then get up against one of those teams that's just packed with class at the really top end, and their top 3 midfielders just kill you. And Newcomb's not quite as good as he has been. Day's not there. I'm just telling you what's happened in the past, not what's going to happen in the future. Yeah. But how many times you want to watch that again while Weddle and Watson and all those guys are getting 1 year older? I reckon if Hawthorn do this year, which I'm exactly what I'm predicting, same as last year, have a really good run and then fail at the final, at the top 4.
I think, personally, look, I think midfield, we had this discussion last year, right, and about their midfield. And we said it is a bit of a weakness because, if they're not getting Merritt, they're looking a little bit thinner in the midfield.
That's exactly what happened. Ward plays a great game. Then where is he when you need him?
Yeah, but however, I personally think that it's their forward line that actually needs a more...
They've been trying to work that out for...
I know they have, but they haven't, as you said, right, you got Gunston, who is, not exactly playing all the matches. You've got Nick Watson, who is kicking a lot of goals for them. But how often are you really going to be relying on a Nick Watson to be, kicking 40 or 50 goals? You've got Mitch Lewis, and to be honest, Mitch Lewis has been a bit up and down.
He's such
He's
a
an
tease.
absolute
He can
tease.
do anything.
Yeah.
He just doesn't do it enough.
Doesn't do it enough, exactly. So he reminds me a little bit of Van Rooyen, in my opinion. Like a big kick, takes some really good marks, but he's getting 8 or 10 possessions. He's not getting 15 or 20 possessions.
As long as Gunston's like that same guy that he was last year, it's tricky because you can only really talk about him in the last 2 because the last 2 years he's been All Australian full forward. But as long as he's doing that and you got Watson, I think you can work something out with Chol and Lewis, which is kind of what they've done, right? And then you've got Moore and you've got McDonald and you've got all of that. I don't think that's their problem. Like, for example, if you think that's the biggest problem, are you really paying $2 million a year to King? It won't cost you any, he's out of contract, right? I would keep that 2 million. If you're spending 2 million on King, I would spend it on Butters because I think that solves your problem. And I think Butters feeding it down to Lewis and those guys, they're all going to look a bit better. But as long as we keep having this conversation, I think they're the ultimate nearly.
Yes, yeah.
And I think Geelong are kind of there at the moment too. But I don't want to put a line through the two guys. The two teams that I've said could knock off the teams that are 10 points clear now.
Yeah. Well, they're the ultimate tease, to be
Geelong.
honest. Geelong. I mean, sometimes you watch them play and you think, no, they're just a bit off. Like they're not there, and Dangerfield is maybe having a bit of a difficult game. Cameron might be doing some things, and you think, geez, they're not as good as they were. But then you see them against the Dockers, and you just see them run and gun. You see,
I know, and then you see them drop one. Those two teams, Hawthorn and Geelong, have both gone over to Freo and been in a position to win. Now you can argue that they missed 8 shots in a row or something, Fremantle in the second quarter. Yeah. But Geelong were 5 goals up. Yeah. They got a good lead and then they just lost. Hawthorn had them on toast, and then Wolfie time came, and I've just never seen anything like it. So they won both those games, but you wouldn't say. I don't think Freo are as good as they're going to be yet. I don't think they've quite peaked. Like what are they winning? 12 in a row or something? So it's hard to say. Yeah. But I think there'll come a time later in the year where you won't go within a goal of them on their home ground. But I mean, maybe their home ground's not the fortress that we thought it was, or maybe Geelong and Hawthorn. It's tight this year.
You saw the game though. Against Geelong, and to be honest, it was their inaccurate kicking, and they just got the kicking yips, right? One missed, so a missed, and all of a sudden Patrick Voss misses, and all of a sudden you've got all these other great players. Even Murphy Reid missed one, and it just perpetuated. But all it took was one. A goal which was just in the goal square, and they pretty much had to have a kick from 5 metres out to actually kick one. Once they did, boom, they did not miss after that. So
So I think the hottest team outside those top 4 is Adelaide.
I was going to say that.
Would you put them in the? So if you say Fremantle. If I had to put my house on a team to be in the grand final, at this point I would go Freo. Yeah. Unless anything. I mean, you've always got to have that asterisk because I can't forget 2 decades of history. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Next, most likely, well, a lot of people sort of think Sydney, we're not sure. They get Goulden back. Do they go, do they only have to worry, do they get to the grand final and then worry about the huge mental problems that they have in grand finals? Or, are they good enough? Are they really, 2 games clear of the rest of the comp, like the ladder says. After that, Geelong and Hawthorn are a chance. I think the next most likely to be there on grand final day would be Adelaide. But I can't put a line through them. I think I can put a line through everyone else. Gold Coast, Brisbane, you don't know.
Jeez, Brisbane.
You don't know.
Almost for
I've
me.
never seen a club rely on a 37-year-old so much without Neil there to take the ball at centre half back and just spear it to someone running up the court. Like those Bailey, the Ashcroft boys. God, I don't know what's happened to your boy Fletcher. But all those guns from the last few years, when Zorko just hits them on a platter and they just handball to each other and kick it down to Logan Morris, they're a different team.
So you're talking about Zorko.
He's been out for over a month now.
Yeah. And you're saying he's the one.
Yeah. He's crucial.
Crucial, yeah.
At the end of last year, I was like, oh, the only ones who are getting older and who they'll have to replace are Neil and Zorko, without realising how stupid that sentence is. Those are two of the best players of this game this century. And clearly without, I mean, they're talking about Neil to Collingwood. It's like the Essendon coaching. I'll believe it when I see it. But if they can get Zorko back and Oscar Allen and, all those guys, I think you've still got to say, I'll leave a spot for you.
Where are they? The fifth position? Are we talking final?
Okay, so if they're playing in that 7th to 10th, then no, right? And I think, as far as I can tell, the only way that the finals have changed is instead of having a bye, we're going to not have a bye. We'll play the wild cards, so 7 and 8, host 9 and 10. And then those guys, it's like you've got the second round becomes, whoever's now 5th and 6th hosting the winners of the wildcard round.
Yes.
So you now have to win 5 games if you finish 7th or lower. I think if you're 5th or 6th, you're still where you were before. You've got to win 4 games, right? Which Brisbane have shown you can do.
No. Brisbane lose the first one and then just
win the next 3.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They just sharpen up, realise what they've done wrong and get to work.
So long as they can finish in the top 6, I'll give them a chance.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be hard to win it from 5 games in a row. We've never had to. Everyone was impressed when Brisbane won 4.
Yeah.
They did it 2 years in a row. Mate, are we done?
I think we're done.
Good chat.
Great chat. Exciting times ahead.
You guys decide. Thanks for watching and hopefully see you soon.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Click us off, mate.